Grand Rising, Grand Rising. This is the Straight Talk Morning Show on the Straight Talk Network. My name is Andre Hill, and we got an exciting topic this week. Man, I can't wait. So we have our co-host, the chairman of the United Aboriginal American Republic, Terrence Lake. How you doing this morning, sir?
Grand Rising, everyone. I'm doing fine. Beautiful day here in the Motor City, 67 degrees. I mean, it's nothing like down in Florida, but I'll take 67 degrees any day.
So that's the heat wave.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So didn't I watch the Detroit Lions last week? Did they win?
They won. They beat Baltimore. I was shocked.
Well, I'll be shocked if Tampa Bay beat the Eagles today. It's going to be tough. But, the Eagles never beat Tampa Bay in Tampa before.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is going to be an interesting game. But anyway, hey, man, we got about to go on to the show without saying anything about our co-host and engineer, and of course, my son, Andre Hill Jr. What's going on, man?
Well, they know who I am. Peace, family. Everything is all good. Everything is all good.
All right. So I'm going to get started because we got some serious topics going on here. And this is what I posted on the show. Here's how the topics are going to roll out today. Hello, family. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going live on the Straight Talk. You can find us on YouTube. Just tap the blue link or on my Facebook page at Andre Hill Sr. This episode will be one for the books, a message from a starseed. And she said, stop acting like human starseeds. Call on all starseeds to remember who they truly are and what their mission is. Demonstration of advanced technology designed to protect Aboriginal people as we prepare to separate and build our own system. Now, I know a lot of our people are kind of scared, I don't, massa been here to cut us up and do all that. But if you tap into the right frequency, you don't have to worry about them demons anymore because we have passed the test. So we're going to talk about that. Reincarnation at high frequency. Share insights from a Caucasian teacher whose understanding of reincarnation aligns closely with my own. I was amazed when I saw this video, and it's very close to reality, so you want to check that out. Also, Andre Hill Jr., he's going to break down why America's best bet is to invest and support Aboriginal American governments. We have one, and there are many all over the country. We need to get involved now, not next week, not next month, right now. Especially in light of the pending conferences that Hegseth is calling for with the top 100 generals. I got that one all mixed up. And it's amazing. My son and I were both thinking on the same frequency because I was going to bring this topic up. And I said, well, what's your topic? He said, man, we need to talk about the 100 generals. So what's going down with these generals? You need to understand what's next for us and why we got to really get this show together. So the chairman, he's tracking 3i Atlas. He's keeping the tabs on it. And so we want to see what's going on with this ship because, the frequency is getting stronger. Early this week, I couldn't sleep at all. I mean, I have no stimulus, nothing. I was up all night and I'm getting these downloads. So it's getting closer, Chairman. So we're going to go ahead and get this show started. But I found an interesting video that I want to play. And this is to people in me and Chairman's generation. And this young man, this is what our young people is saying. And I'm going to say this especially to my classmates, people born and graduated from high school in 1970. You sit around, you say, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. No, the hell they ain't. So listen to what our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren are saying and get involved. You 70, 73, 74 years old, it's time to let's make a move or our children, they're going to be moving in with you. All right, go ahead and play that.
poison in the food supply. Y'all don't want to do nothing about that, and that affects the kids, but that shit don't matter to y'all either. They're controlling us through the media. You don't want to do nothing about that. They're raising the cost of everything, but still ain't giving you enough money. You don't want to do nothing about that. They had y'all praying to a false god with this fake religion. Y'all don't want to do nothing about that. They stealing us. They trafficking us. They eating us. They taking our neuromelanin, which y'all call melanin. Like, y'all don't want to do nothing about that either. All these markets and McDonald's is getting caught with human flesh and feeding us human flesh. Y'all don't want to do nothing about that. Now, I've been ready to slide. I've been prepared. You can get on my page. You see what type of shit I'm on. But I can't do it by myself, y'all. I need some help. I'm going to take out a lot by myself, but it's still going to be a sacrifice, and y'all not going to slide for me if I sacrifice myself. So when is y'all ready to do something, bro? All this talking on the internet shit is starting to get real fucking old. Like, can we do something, y'all? It's a revolution happening in every other country except for here because we too comfortable, too content. So y'all let me know something, bro.
Hey, man, we've been talking about this, and this is the young generation saying what they're feeling, and they are vulnerable without us old school backing them. Chairman, you want to say anything to your generation?
Well, with my generation, you know, I feel like the young brother. You know, the people are sleeping. They then on some type of drug where they just won't respond. You know, it's terrible. You know, I mean, I get into arguments about simple things to just get people to listen to my perspective. You don't have to do what I say, but listen to what I'm saying, and then have your opinion. You know, but you're listening to the wrong people, and they got you mesmerized. You know, and the young people, they recognize that, you know, things ain't right. And not only blacks, whites too. These young white boys, you know, they're revolting against their parents and the system, you know. So it's time for the young society to come together and come under our leadership, because we can steer you in the right direction. You know, that's what UAAR is all about, trying to get you on the right course, but you got to come on and come in. You know, we could lead you to the water, but we can't make you drink it, you know, so get on board.
Absolutely.
Land that plane.
Hey, yes, sir. So, Junior, hey, man, is this what's vibrating throughout all of the generations around your time period?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, from my generation on, we all feeling that kind of pressure. We all handling it differently. But it's the same state of mind for all of our generations. And what Chairman said, very well said, you know, at this point, we all gonna have to get on this particular path and direction that UAAR is taking. And through that we can build a beautiful planet. We can build a beautiful society. It ain't rocket science. It ain't that difficult. We have all the know-how, and like this little young brother right here, we also have the will. That's like Chairman was saying, that's where a lot of people from, you know, no disrespect to y'all's generation, but that's where the lack is. Don't have the will at that point. You know, they can see what's going on. They see what's going on, but they just, you know, willfully become ignorant to it, or look away from it, and just keep, you know, doing what they've been doing.
All right. So, you know, this is something, you know, to my generation. There are things that I know from the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. I know how to maneuver with these demons. I understand them to the core. There are things that I can do that these younger generations, they don't understand. They haven't experienced what we experienced. And so, you know, I know that right now where we are with this nation, there are certain things that I got to do. My son don't have the skill set for. He's wise. He knows a lot. But it's our generation that's got to step in, stop sitting back, you know, saying, well, they're going to do what they're going to do. That's my classmate. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. That drives me mad. These are your children, your grandchildren, your great-children. What do you think is going to happen when you die? And you got to come back through those children. So I'm gonna break it down to you in the reincarnation part. But hey, man, let's play the part about the star seeds, young lady, because the star seeds are the ones that really got to step up right now. Now, wait a minute, before you play. But I saw a movie on Star Trek a long time ago. I know y'all gonna say, yeah, you believe in that? No, the reality and the TV, all of it wrapped up in the same. But in this particular episode, there were whales on the planet. So when the alien whales came back to check in on their whales, we had murdered them all off, and none of them were responding. So these beings started upsetting the planet because they couldn't find no whales to send a message say everything is cool. So that's the same thing we're in right now, the melanated people. These beings are getting ready to come, and if we are in dire strait, they're gonna shake this planet up. So, but anyway, star seeds, it's your time is up. If you have a star seed in your family and you done dogged them out and ostracized them because they didn't want to go along with your church crap, or you submitting to this Luciferian system, you need to go get them. If they're in the dirt, or they're homeless or whatever, go clean them up and bring them to the equation, because they're going to be your salvation. Go ahead and play this, man.
Know who needs to hear this, but actually I do, my chosen ones. It's time for you to stop acting like a human. You're not a human. It is time for you to step in as a soul that remembers their divine assignment, period. The time is now. I don't know.
All right. Hey, Chairman, does that sound right?
The time is now. It's been past time, but we're just so divided, we can't come together. If we come together, it's been proven 10% of a society can rule 90%, but you got to come together. We all got the same in common. There's oppression, opposition. You think America's all that and Kool-Aid, but it's not, because they're controlling our every move, especially with AI and your phones, your televisions. Even the coffee pots are rigged up with technology where it can listen to what you're saying. So it's time for us to come together and make this thing right, because it ain't gonna get right by this secrecy, this control, and like you say, the extraterrestrials are on the way, and they're gonna shake things up, and I'm looking forward to it. The sooner the better, because this junk that's going on now, it's just beyond belief. I believe more in extraterrestrials than I do in the society that we're living in right now, all the bullshit that's going on. I land that plane.
All right. Well, before you got a comment before you go to the demonstration of the technology?
No.
Okay, let's go to now. This tape might be a little fuzzy, but we're trying to help you out in understanding that the technology is going to protect you as long as you come together as one. And
I have been using the GLP-1 injections through hers for 4 months. I have lost 30 pounds. Hers is
we ain't got to hear about that right now. But y'all see what this is. This is a TMZ clip. We ain't subscribed to nothing like that, so we got to watch that ad for a second, family. Hold tight.
We ain't subscribed to none of that crap. We need to get away from anything they're promoting.
It's a long ad too. Oh, have mercy.
Okay, so there's no sound to it, right?
Yeah, no, there's no sound to it.
So I don't know if you can see. No, this is the one. Oh, yeah, they fired some missiles. They're firing missiles at the craft.
Yeah, let's go back.
And the missiles are bouncing off.
Right.
This is why I'm saying we don't have to fear these demons on planet Earth and their missiles, their lasers, and all. Well, they don't have a whole lot of lasers, But whatever technology they have is low frequency technology. It's antiquated technology. And the beings that gave it to them knew that. They couldn't give them the good stuff because they're too ignorant, you know? So they got this technology, but this craft here was hit by several missiles and they just bounced off. So what we're trying to say to you is, listen, man, stop sitting back worrying about what they're gonna do to you. You're gonna die anyway. But as long as you stop competing with each other, just like we want to reach out to all of those other nations, just join up with us. Just do a treaty with us. Continue with your agenda, and we're going to continue. But at the end of the day, we're going to bring the food back home, put it on the table, and everybody's going to eat. Chairman, did you understand that technology?
I don't understand that technology. I know it's very advanced for you to shoot a missile and it bounce off, you know, because the missile, once it detects something and hit it, it's supposed to explode. So, my God, what can you say? All respect, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Jane.
So this is let me just get some context into what happened here. So this, what they calling UAPs now, what we used to call UFOs,
right,
it's floating down the coast of Yemen, over there in the Middle East, and they picked up on it. You saw that they had it on satellite scope and everything, and they decided to shoot some missiles at it. So just standard ground military missiles. And they did so, locked in on it, actually hit it. And as y'all see, really didn't see much of an impact. And it kept rolling, just kept on skating. It just kept on skating. The point is, like Pops has been saying for a little while now on this show, look, to keep it real brief, all of that low class, destructive military technology that they got. I know that's what y'all's prime concern is when it comes to us saying that we're going to build sustainable communities all over this world for all of the enlightened people, so that we can congregate there and create a hub that is very high vibratory. And what that UAP was demonstrating is the type of protection we'll have. In other words, they try to come burn down our stuff, come shoot some missiles at it, come rain whatever fire down on it. It'll bounce off because the vibration that we're working on. Now I know that sounds very hippie-ish and optimistic. I know it does, but think of this. Think of how much energy and effort they put into keeping you in a fearful state of mind so that they can control you and get next to you, because the frequency of fear is the only thing that allows them to be in proximity to you. I'll say it one more time. The frequency of fear, I mean, especially now, mind you, y'all know I say this all the time. I don't bash nobody's religion, but I will tell you the truth about it. The frequency of fear. So even when you're talking about I be fearing God, I'm a God-fearing person. That's the kind of frequency they've been programming you on, so they can stay in contact with you, so they can stay in proximity to you, so they can continue to leech on you like a parasite. It's a fear frequency. When we ain't got that fear frequency, look, you are in a completely different dimension from them. They can't even see you, let alone come up, roll up on you and touch you. So my point is, like Pops and Chairman say, we're gonna have to raise our vibration, like seriously. But we're gonna have to do it on this physical plane, which means we're gonna have to build with one another, congregate on that high frequency, and demonstrate that to ourselves, to our higher selves, to the Most High, and other advanced beings in the universe that we ready, and we're ready to ascend and communicate and also be a part of the high vibratory ecosystem of this universe. I'll land it right there.
So here's something that I find very funny. I see different Caucasian people. They don't have a lot of them don't have to work, so they go out and explore and do things like that. But they're trying to contact, the ETs are already here. They're in the atmosphere, and you can summon them with the right frequency. We here at UAAR, the chairman, my son, we know how to tap into that frequency to protect you when you come in and join. When we come together as nation, one nation, as a collective, to repel this test. What's really funny is Caucasian people be out there, the ones that's trying to figure out, trying to summon the ET. They show up for them, but they're not stupid. They know your ancestors burned, murdered, and killed people. They're not going to make contact with you other than to make a slave out of you. So I think it's really funny that they be trying to act all benevolent and say, we want to be in touch with you. They're not going to help you to continue this, when they know what the history of what your ancestors did to all the melanated people on the planet. So these ETs are sitting out there waiting on the melanated people to come and say, we get it. Stop worshiping the false gods that your slave master gave you. Stop praying to that frequency. And we're going to tap into those beings, the ones where the missiles bounced off, that technology and even higher technology. What my son explained, and we gave an example that our ancestors, the melanated ones, their technology is so advanced, they can beam themselves in on the ships of these low frequency aliens. So even that technology with the rockets bouncing off their ships is low grade technology. We're going to tap into even a higher grade to protect our little communities, our children, and our women. Black men, get with us. We're going to share these formulas with you. We're going to share these frequencies with you. We know you ain't going to church anymore dealing with that BS. So let's join this collective. Don't worry about who found this or came up with this first. We are benevolent souls. We are required to share it with you. So get out of that stage of competition of you did it first. Nah, get out of that, man. Come on. Go to our site, UAARnation.org, UAARnation.org. Sign up with us. Let us know you're ready to get on board, because we got communities that are in development stages, and we're going to have places for you to live, brothers. You don't have to pay no more rent. Our whole community is going to support it. You don't have to pay no water bills, light bills, and car notes and all that craziness. We're separating from this. So get with us, man. And stop sitting back wondering, well, maybe they're going to fail. No, we ain't going to fail. We on this. All right. So I got one other for the chairman and the son get up. Can you play that the one with the young Caucasian? This Caucasian guy is explaining how souls, travel through the universe. And he was point on. He was as close as you can get with understanding this. And he needs to share this with Caucasian people, other Caucasian people, so they'll understand when you do crap against people, you're going to pay for it. I don't think they understand it. I think they've been brainwashed and saying, well, we're doing this in the name of Jesus Christ. Even the Ku Klux Klan, they worship Jesus Christ in their churches. Why? Because it's satanic. So go ahead, play this video, man.
Hi, you guys. So somebody asked a very important question. If Earth is a reincarnational trapping system, or Earth is a prison planet, then why do souls choose to come here? Why do we choose to incarnate here as souls if we know we're going to get trapped in the process? So the reason why souls incarnate on Earth, because it's one of the toughest universities in this universe. It's one of the toughest places where souls come to evolve and expand their consciousness. And the kind of lessons that are available on Earth, because this is a duality planet, they're not available in the higher dimensions. And let me give you an example. When a soul is not incarnated and is just flowing freely in the higher dimensions, it's communicating with God, angels, and exploring various realities, the soul can manifest anything it desires, because in the higher planes, manifestation is instant. in the realms of energy, whatever you think of can be created. Even physical environments can be created. Even physical sensations can be created in a simulated environment. So even though this freedom seems so exotic to us as humans, the ability to have whatever you want at will, but in the higher dimensions, life gets boring after a couple of thousand years because they have no time. They're always in the eternal now moment. So if they can always manifest what they desire, then there's no point or meaning in life because there's no soul expansion. There's no denying anything. There's no learning from lack. So Earth is one of the third dimensional planets where we come to experience the illusion of lack. So the souls that incarnate here know fully well that when they come to this planet, they can get trapped in the cycles of karma. One of the rules of incarnating on Earth for souls is that you cannot leave a messy trail behind. You have to clean up after yourself. So when a soul incarnates and let's say it does something horrible to another soul that incurs karma, for example, let's say you murder somebody or you cheat on somebody or you steal from somebody, that incurs karma. What that means is that in this lifetime or in the next lifetime or in the next several lifetimes, you have to repay the karma. So you have to keep coming back to Earth to repay that karma. So the quicker the soul evolves, the easier it is to ascend out of Earth. But what happens is that sometimes souls get trapped in endless cycles of karma because they don't get the lesson. And then they keep on incurring more karma, making more mistakes in subsequent lives. Then they come to a point where it's almost impossible for them to evolve any further. So what happens to such souls is that no soul ever remains trapped in endless cycles of karma. What happens is that the soul incurs more and more difficulty as it incurs more karma, and life's lessons get harsher and harsher. And out of that harshness, that soul reaches a bottom point, which is called the dark night of the soul, where in that lifetime, the immense pressures of life itself actually cause the soul to awaken. And the soul realizes at a very deep level that it does not desire to choose pain as an experience anymore, and that it wants to ascend out of all this karma and make things right. So that kicks off a very rapid process for the soul to make things right, and undoing several lifetimes worth of karma is possible in one lifetime if the soul chooses to do so. Eventually, every soul is going to ascend out of here. It's only a matter of time. And it's only a matter of how long you as a soul choose to make the right choices in life, live in harmony and balance with nature, respect your fellow beings, and live by the universal principles. We all have an inner compass that tells us what's right and wrong. We don't need to be told what to do. So as long as you follow the principles of common sense and don't do harm to others and just lead a good life, your soul will ascend and you will be evolving. You just have to start paying attention to which aspects of your life are out of balance and then bring them into balance and harmony. When all of your life becomes harmonious, that means you're on your path to ascension. So let me know in the comments if this video helped you guys. Take care.
All right, man. This for a Caucasian man, he is so on point. And one of the things he said was that it's so get to even a dark point. So even I read somewhere 20, 30 years ago, even Lucifer will wake up at some point and come back towards the light. So all you crazy people that's following the Luciferian agenda, you just following a lost cause. You know, for money, fame, and fortune. Even Lucifer is going to turn around and go into the light at some point. So stop. I got my Social Security. I got my retirement. I ain't going to do nothing to upset that man. Y'all better leave that bad karma alone. Chairman, do you think this guy's on point? What?
Hey, sound like you. That's why you gravitated to it. You say, damn, that's you preaching to him and him preaching to you. But that's a good thing, though. You know, and people that watch our show, they need to realize, that, you reap what you sow. Earth is a learning planet. We come here, we were given nothing. We didn't have clothes. And we learn to get clothes from animals and then from nature itself, so we need to learn lessons, and we're going to continue to go through hell if we don't learn, because it'd be nice to have a heavenly environment on earth and we don't bump our heads and we just enjoy the fruits of our labor. But if we don't learn, we're going to keep going through the same thing over and over again. And like you say, time is not really of the essence, because the creator got all the time in the universe.
There you go.
It's just up to us to get it together and stop bumping our head up against that wall and realize that there's a better way. And we got the answer. All about coming together. I'll land that plane.
There you go, Chairman. Hey, Junior, do you think this young brother is on point?
Yeah. I think he was. I think he was completely on point. He said a lot of. Well, he gave a very profound and thorough explanation and conveyance of the reincarnation process. And now, I think it is. I think it's. Well, let me say this. What you touched on earlier about the technology of humans. See, we're thinking that external technology, in other words, the ability to travel, invent things that basically make physical life easier for us. We think that is the pinnacle of technology. Now, we already invented the pinnacle of technology, the universal technology, a long time, and that's the human body with a soul incarnated into it. Then incarnating on a planet like this and having human experiences. That's the universe done saw all the quote unquote tech possible, like physical technology. What the universe is mostly and primarily concerned with is learning itself through us. And the only way it does that is by us interacting with each other and having experiences. Now, thing is, the universe, just like our body, it has a consumption process and a waste process. So it's gonna be some pains, right? Because even those pains are valid, right? Like he said, like Chairman said, that's the learning experience. But what we're here to do right now is we just here to help guide a lot of you souls into the ascension. When I say we're gonna create self-sustainable communities, like the water being free, electricity being free, all of the basic resources being free, that's the basis. That's us just trying to get to a point to where we can wake up every day and choose to utilize the technology of the body and the soul freely, because literally want you to be at the point where you can wake up and be like, I woke up today, ain't no such thing as Tuesday no more, it's just today. And what I'm gonna do today? What am I going to do to exercise my free will, the love frequencies with other humans? In other words, really want y'all to get into that state of being, of at least pondering, what would it be like? What would it be like to wake up every day truly free? To where the only thing you have to do is interact with your fellow human being on higher frequencies, higher vibrations of emotions, right? And start creating those experiences. Because that's what the universe wants to see. Like, this pain stuff, it saw it trillions of times. It already knows what that looks like. It wants to know what you would do, what would you create that's new with your free will. That's the technology right there. How are we gonna interact with each other on this physical plane, given its I don't even want to say its lack or its restraint, but let's just say its particular configuration. What we gonna do with it? What we gonna do with this three-dimensional world and its polarity and its let's say some of its challenges, right? Some of its challenges. One last note before I move on. As a cosmologer, listen, family, I don't boast or brag, but I'm probably one of the best astrologers on the planet. And I say that because I've studied and practiced it very diligently and unbiasedly for over 2 decades. And what I've learned through it is this: on this planet, we understand what time is, and y'all heard me say this before. A lot of my former astrology students used to ask me all the time, "Is time real? Is time real?" Because they always hearing our time ain't real. Just like this brother said in the video, in the higher dimensions, time is different. It's different, right? But the truth is, time is what you make it. Time is literally what you make it, right? And so when you realize that, when you realize, these reality is pretty much what you make it, and you got a responsibility to just uphold universal law with that. So long story short, it's 11:36. I know we got some more stuff to show. I'll land that plane for right now and come back to it.
All right. So manifestation, that part, I'm going to be very brief on this. Hey, Aboriginal men, let's get together. We're going to manifest living spaces and protection for our women and our children and our culture. We're going to share that formula with you. So get out of this matrix, go to the page, put your name in, because by putting your name, registering with us, you're going to be the first person we call when we break ground on these tribal lands that we're setting up right now. You're going to be the first person so put your name in, let us know, get in touch with us. We got a telephone number, leave us a message, we'll get back in touch with you. But hey man, quit putting this off, waiting around. Your ancestors have been going to these damn churches for 400 years. And what have we got to show for it? So I know it's hard to trust us, and you're wondering, hey man, they just got another game. No, man, this is the real deal. Just come in and see that our sincerity. We love you, brothers. We're going to work with you. See what we're dealing with and come join this movement. So go to UAARnation.org, and we're going to start manifesting protection and for our women and our children and our culture. So let me move on to so Andre Jr., and Chairman, he's got this piece coming up. He's going to give us an update. So we're going to save the best for last. But go ahead, Junior. Give us a breakdown on America's best bet right now.
Oh, look, listen. So furthering the conversation on why we're saying we need to build self-sustainable communities on this planet, so that especially the enlightened melanated people on this planet can live in their own incubator right now, free of colonial parasitic pressures. So that you can wake up every day, be free, and start to create a true paradise on this planet, so that you can start operating in some real experiences that are going to yield real growth and fruit. But that's what it boiled down to. These petty experiences that y'all dealing with every day ain't doing much for you. It's asking you to pay too much and only giving you too little return. That's what it's doing. Like the petty experiences that you're dealing with every day, fighting with each other, fighting over scraps, those kind of experiences are obsolete at this point. The type of emotions that come along with them are also obsolete at this point. So when we're thinking about self-sustainable communities, we on a mundane level, y'all will hear me say this from time to time too, coming from a spiritual conversation down to an earthly conversation right now. So when I say jurisdictions, institutions, and infrastructure, I'm just talking about the structures that we need to build society, let's say the interpersonal structures, and then also the physical structures that we need to build on this planet, in contrast to the metropolis and consumerism lifestyle and infrastructure that you're used to, right? In other words, the getting up every day, going to work, thinking you fulfilling a purpose that deep down inside, it's not your real purpose. And the truth is, you've just been conditioned. It ain't your fault. It's like, that's just what the parasite has been doing. It's literally been conditioned all of us to suppress what we think or what we feel our true purpose is, that creative spirit. We suppress it because we're scared, because we've been conditioned to be scared. But when we say infrastructure, institutions, and jurisdictions, that's what our tribal nation represents. Now, prior to all the colonialism, prior to all of that, that's what we were doing. Listen, melanated people, we ain't new to this. We true to this. We have been building civilization since time immemorial. It's not new to us. It's in your DNA to do it. You know, from all four corners of the world, everywhere they travel, they start digging up stuff and brushing off stuff, and they start seeing your face on stuff. That's what happens. That's what happens. No matter how deep they dig, every time they dig a little deeper, looking for themselves, they start digging you up. Right. So my point is, we've been doing this for a very long time, and we're just getting back to it. We went through a brief winter season. The winter season we went through, based on a time scale, we went through the age of Pisces and Aries. We went from Aries to Pisces, and we also went through that while it was aligned with the Kali Yuga, aka the Iron Age, also just known as the lowest vibration of the Great Age cycle. So we went through a winter time. Y'all go through winter times every year. Y'all know what it is. Go through winter time every year, and you know how to, typically, you know how to prepare for it. You know, you got to start buying some coats. You know, you got to start, you know, depending on where you're at, if you got a, you know, like an oil boiler in your house or something like that, you got to start stocking up on oil. Y'all know how to prepare for the winter season. You see what I'm saying? Y'all know how to do it. But unfortunately, you know, this time, well, now take that back. I'm not going to say we didn't know the winter season coming. We were very well aware the winter season was coming because we wrote it down. We wrote it down. Either way, you know, we're at this point now where we're coming out of the winter season, and we're coming into a celestial, well, let's say a planetary spring season, coming into the Dwapara Yuga and the age of, we're heading towards the age of Aquarius. We're not quite in it yet, but we're almost there. I say we're about maybe 70 to 150 years out. Maybe about 70. But either way, you know how when, you know, you be coming out of the winter season, and then, you know, you get little days here and there that are a lot warmer than last week, but you know it ain't quite spring season yet. That's where we at. We're right down the cusp. So it's all good. It's all good. Saying all that to say this, the reemergence of indigenous governments all over the world is what's about to happen. It ain't a fad. It ain't a trend. That's what's about to happen. The rightful restoration of the original people on this planet, governing their societies in accordance with natural law, is what's about to happen right now. And also what's happening and simultaneously with that is the fall of parasitic jurisdictions. It's the eradication and or the extinction of invasive species in the ecosystem. And they know it, they feel it, and they're beginning to act out. That's what an invasive species does when it knows it's about to go extinct. It gets very desperate. It starts upping the ante on its tactics, and it starts getting a lot more vicious. Saying that to say this, you know, we appreciate some of our Caucasian people over there who are looking at this situation and reporting. I'm gonna show a video of a guy named Texas Paul. You know, from what I've been viewing from, seemed like a solid dude. You take that with a grain of salt. But what he's sharing is what's happening with the current Republican administration that's in the White House, and what they plan on doing with the military. What they plan on doing with the military, which we all need to be paying attention to, because again, parasite is getting desperate. It's going to start pulling out all of its stops. And I'm gonna let Paul explain to y'all what's happening briefly. I think he's got a decent message for you with it as well. Let's see here. Okay, what the sound at? Okay, well, the sound is up. Messing with our stream? They're messing with our stream. Hold up now.
Next week, our country changes forever, and I need you to be prepared for it. No violence, no violence. That would be the worst possible thing you could do. It would play right into their hands. And don't panic. Don't panic. I'll tell you why. So, Texas Paul, hope your coffee is as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. Yeah, this is the end of September, and next week they're about to decapitate the military. Pete Hegseth has called a meeting of well over 100 of our top generals. That give you an idea. I think there's only like 475 top generals and admirals. Not top, but total generals and admirals. I think there's like 475. He's called a meeting of over 100 of them. They're going to decapitate the military next week. That's what's going on. They've been moving towards that. The plans that they've been putting together, they've been calling a consolidation of leadership, and this is the Nazi playbook. They already did it with ICE. They did it with ICE. The $100 million they put into ICE was exactly the Nazi playbook. They went out and recruited out of the militias, and that's why they wear the mask, so you can't identify where they got these people from. Now the next step is decapitate the military and create super generals. These are generals that they're going to have basically ad campaigns for. They're going to get the nationalists behind them, the rah nationalists behind these generals to make superstars out of them, because they're sycophants that they can control, that will do anything that they're told. This will be the end of your country as you know it. I need you to not panic, and this is why. You can stop this. You may not be able to stop these generals from being fired and removed, but you can stop this entire thing. A country of 330 million people that will not be governed cannot be governed. It's that simple. It's that simple. Protest, fight, boycott, fight economically. Close your wallet and sit your ass down. Folks, a bunch of unarmed Indians ran the most powerful empire at the time, the British, out of India by simply sitting their asses down. You can do that too. You can do that too. Most of these major corporations run on loans. If you just stop spending, they fold. You understand where the power is? You have the power. Use it, and use it wisely. Any violence plays into their hands.
All right. Now, before I start, I'm going to ask Chairman Pops and Mama Kelly is in the house. Peace and love, Mama Kelly. Appreciate you coming in. I'm gonna do the right thing and ask y'all as the elders to chime in on this first before I get started. What y'all think about it?
Yeah. So, Chairman, you see what's happening. I lived in D.C. and when they call all the generals in, that's a rare thing. Just like the man said, they're going to force these generals to kiss the ring. They want to find out who's with them and who's not with them, and the ones that with them, they got to bow down and kiss Donald Trump's ring, and so the ones that don't kiss his ring, they're going to be fired and taken out of the equation. And it's just very clear. Once again, they are like children. They are primitive humans. And we have the power manifestation to shut their bull crap down. We're not going to spend any more money with them. All melanated people, like the man says, shut your wallets down. Shut it down. Go ahead, Chairman.
Yeah, you're right. We got to come together and put this down because, they're having meetings and they won't even let us know what they're meeting about. But they're having meetings before they have a meeting so they could know who to target and not to target. Because if you don't go along with their agenda, they're like off with the head, You're no longer useful to us. And it's the handwriting on the wall. Look at all the things that Trump and his administration is doing. They're not doing anything to help the general population. What are they there for other than for self-service? It's terrible. It's terrible. And it's time for us to really get it together because it's serious. I'll land that plane.
Okay, Chairman. Hey, Mama Kelly, what do you think about these generals and what's getting ready to happen?
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me today. I have questions. When I saw that, I saw the picture of all, more than 100, I believe. Well, no, what were there, 300 and something generals? I know it was a big audience. I saw a picture of it yesterday, and I said, okay, that could be two things. And I always continue to pray that Nasara Jasara is real. Okay? So that one scenario could be that Jasara is being implemented around the world. That's one possibility, meaning the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, which, of course, NASARA being the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, would be here in America. We're seeing only traces of it here, but in America, but globally, we're seeing a whole lot of changes, ousting of old governments. I mean, the EU is on its knees, economically, politically, it's on its knees right now. And, they have even implemented the government ID, not the one that allows you to either eat or not eat in UK. I'm not sure if it's been done in other European countries. But the fact that they are taking down all of these corrupt governments, and they're corrupt all over the world, that I don't know of any government in America that is not corrupt, not just America, in the world that is not corrupt. They still have a whole lot of fiefdoms, or should I say kingdoms, in Europe, and all of those people are eating from our table, as they always have, our table and Africa's table and all of the other indigenous countries. And of course, they have their people who are also corrupt. So bringing all of these military under, to Trump to say, I don't know what, but it could be organizing to take down all these governments. That was always a plan from Jasara, from the SAR, since the early 2000s. That was always the plan. Now we don't know, because we see one thing happening on one side and one thing happening on the other side. Taking over the military, or should I say ousting immigrants who were sent in here, and all of the so-called Western developed countries, there's an invasion of illegal immigrants whom we are really aware that they are all military age, and they're sleeper cells. Okay, now that's one part of our government trying to keep things as they are, which is related to NATO and all the rest of them over there in Europe. In other words, the West, trying to hold on when their time is gone, their time is up, and they have no more power. Now, we have to understand that there was that move, or should I say, Nasara was about actually taking out all of these corrupt governments and reinstalling the people's republics. That was all over the world that this has happened. And the Chinese royal families who are sitting on the deposits of gold that, the West was supposed to fund Jassar and Nassara, that Chinese royal family or the families are ready to put the money into the chest, the treasure chest of Jassar and Nassara, and they've already developed an alternative um, um, uh, financial system. We all aware of it, called BRICS. Okay, and so there's that scenario of taking down everything, and then the fact that the West doesn't want it that way. They want to maintain their power, and so they're going to fight until there's no one standing to fight.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the fact that they really have been defeated, but a wounded horse is going to kick and may even kill, once he gets that parasite or that rider off his back. He may stomp that rider and kill it. Okay, and so we still have to be aware, even if we hear alternative scenarios, and I hear them coming from our people, and I hear them coming from other people who are still, hoping and wishing and praying that Nassara Jassara would be implemented. I would love that. Would change the financial system and give everybody what they are due. It's supposed to bankrupt all of the 13 families over there running the whole show all over the world, supposed to take their money, and along with the Chinese royal families, to fund a new world. It's not the one that George Bush bragged about that they would win, because right now their hideaway, the Nazi hideaway down there in Argentina, is about to fail too.
Absolutely.
And so, we have this push and pull on both sides. And even though we'll hear some of our people, our indigenous people, our original people, talk about, oh, they coming for us, Rex, what was it? Rex something, that thing that came out, that they said they were going to get rid of all of us. They can't. And they know they can't get rid of us, but they sure can, as long as they got those, what do they call them, the Divine Nine working for them.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to make it difficult for us. And so I just want you to take a look at the fact that there are two scenarios that are very strong in the process right now of which way we're going to go, but we may have to experience some really rough times, but that is not to stop us from where we're going and for what reason. Okay.
So, Mama Kelly, this is the beauty of the United Aboriginal American Republic. If you go to our site, UAARnation.org, Mama Kelly's on there, her resume, her experience, extensive knowledge. And so we don't have a dictatorship, and our women are strongly represented in our collective. So what we will do is sit around to a table and make decisions on how we're going to move based on how these parasites are moving. So if you're an elder and you want to get involved in this mix, this is the collective. This is the power of our collective. We also have a queen mother, Mama Lababa. She's from New York, and hey, we got many years of experience on how we're going to direct this movement to bring all these nations together. So go on our website, UAARnation.org, check Mama Kelly out, because she's well respected. And if you are in a nation, we are nations coming together. If you're Cherokee, Blackfoot, whatever, just come join our nation in our collective action. Then there's no dictators. We'll sit down and come up with a resolution or a plan of action on how we're going to move on behalf of our children and our future. So this is imperative. Hey, Mom Kelly, I got to get the chairman. Chairman, you got to give us an update on 3I, where it's located, and what we need to be thinking about.
Okay. Well, as you know, what 3I/Astro, the acronym is, it's asteroid terrestrial /impact last alert system. That's what the Atlas stand for. But the 3 is the third object that have come from the interstellar part of our galaxy. Now, we live in a solar system, but with all the solar systems combined, we call it a galaxy. And it's coming from a part of our galaxy into our solar system. Now, this object have been seen visually since July the 1st. And it's got some scientists kind of worried because they see it making changes, like its direction. It set its course to a certain direction and we followed it, but then all of a sudden it moves a little bit. Now, we know basically from asteroids of the past, they have their eyes set on one direction and it doesn't get altered because it doesn't have a motor or something in it to cause it to deviate. Now, there are a lot of scientists that are looking at it and they have different opinions. You had one astronomer said that it's a possibility it might hit Mars. You had one scientist, an astronomer, said that it's a possibility it might hit our moon. Well, Mars and the moon right now are so far apart, it can't be that much of variation, because in October the 3rd, it's supposed to come its closest to Mars. And when it gets to that point, we won't be able to see it because we're going to be on a total opposite side. And for another couple months, it's going to be behind the sun, so we won't have an opportunity to get any information, from the situation. But fortunately, there's a probe that's circling Mars right now. They call it the, I wrote it down here, HiRISE, and it's got some cameras. So we are going to, we talked the European Space Agency to turn its cameras in the direction of 3I/Astro Atlas, I should say. And it's like gonna be viewing it. It's gonna be able to find more detail with this here spaceship, what I call it, and it's gonna give us some information on what it really is. And that time is coming soon, and I feel we don't have anything to worry about because of the intelligence. It's not just going to come from another solar system and not know what it's doing. Asteroids, that they're basically from our solar system, but interstellar objects, we're beginning to realize that it's intelligently controlled, and we're ready for some very exciting times right now, because a lot of things are going to be revealed, and they say that as fast as this vehicle is moving at 130,000 miles an hour, once it passed through our solar system, that it'll never come back. Well, I just seen a report on YouTube that it said there's a possibility it might show up again in March of 2026. Now, there's too much contradictory in a lot of things that some of these scientists and astrologers are, putting out there. And it would probably cause a lot of people to be confused. But one thing for sure, we'll know this year what's going on because, it's the handwriting on the wall. It's in our solar system right now as we speak. And if you look towards the sun to the left, you would be able to see it if you had the proper telescope, but it's in a couple of days you won't be able to because the sun is so bright. Looking up at the sun, it just, it's not going to work in that respect. And yeah, like I said, we got some very, very exciting times coming, and things are going to be revealed. Now, like I say, I believe it's a spaceship. I believe that it's deliberately going behind the other side of the sun because it's going to be doing something they don't want us to see. But we're fortunate that we have the technology, that we do have probes that are orbiting Mars, and they've got a fix on it, and it'll give us more information. And I'll keep you posted on what's going on from my part. And I'll land that plane.
Absolutely, Chairman. So Chairman is going to keep us up to date step by step, on each show until something happens. So next weekend, me and Andre Jr., we're going to be at the Sankofa Fest here in Tampa. So if you're anywhere in Florida or if you want to fly in and hang out with us, we're going to be from Saturday, October the 4th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. I think I heard that I'm going to be speaking around 12:30, but we're going to broadcast from the Sankofa Fest, which is next Saturday. And the location is at the Greenway Family Foundation Fairgrounds at 5815 North 34th Street. That's here in Tampa. And so, if you got children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and you don't see they're draining your retirement funds, come hang out with us. We're going to write their names down for people that we're going to look at to integrate in our tribal lands where they're going to learn the true history. They're going to learn metaphysical scientists. They're going to learn trades that's dealing with the future, not this BS that you have to buy and buy over and over. That's the old paradigm. That system is dead, it's gone. So show up. We're going to talk. We're going to also give you advice why you should not invest any more money trying to get a business in this paradigm. This paradigm is crashing. If you put up your real estate or your time investing in trying to work in this market, we're going to explain to you why not, and what the alternatives are. So show up this October the 4th, a Saturday between 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. and we at the Sankofa Fest. We will be there. Hey, Junior, you got the closeout statement and whatever you got, your final word.
No, sure. I think everybody contributed greatly. I'm just gonna go ahead and close it out. Hey, family, this has been the Straight Talk Network show. As always, we love y'all. Peace out, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
For station peace, y'all.
All right. Thank you, Mama Kelly.
Thank you, Mama Kelly.